Hey, this is We As Human, and you're watching the Midwest music scene.
Woo! What's going on, guys? This is Dave with Midwest Music Scene. We're here with We As Human. How's it going, guys?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Mr. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. So if I could get y'all to do me a favor and just introduce yourselves and tell me what your role in the band is.
I'm Justin F., lead guitar.
And I'm Justin, and I am the lead vocalist.
I'm Jake, and I play guitar.
I'm Adam, I play drums. And I'm Dave, I play the bass.
Thanks. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So first of all, I mean, you guys just had the album come out. How's it feeling, man? I mean, you guys had pretty good success with We Fall Apart. We were just talking about that a second ago.
Yeah.
I mean, how's that feeling? I mean, you guys...
Amazing, man. We worked on that album for probably 2 years, just writing. I think we wrote like 50-some songs for that record. We didn't record 50-some songs, luckily, like have a 5-hour album. But it felt right to us, and we felt like we finally had the songs that we needed for this record. So we went in with our favorite producer, Howard Benson, down in LA, and recorded it. Spent a couple months down there doing that, and it was just a long process, as the humanoids know, as they followed us through this. They're like, "When's the album? Is that album ever coming out?" And so yeah, it came out on June 25th, and it just kind of exploded for us. Like it just. It went, I mean, it was in top 10 of iTunes for like a week, and went to the top of a few different charts. And so we feel really blessed and fortunate that it's been received how it is. And then, you know, being on these tours that we're doing, seeing fans singing our songs and singing all the songs from our album, it really feels good. So we're kind of like, we're still in this kind of perpetual state of like craziness, you know, just trying to take it all in, and we're feeling a lot of love from the fans, and it's really nice. Man,
that's great. So like, you got to tell me, what was it like the first time you heard yourself on the radio? Like, you had to have like a specific story of like something.
We were in Indiana outside of an Applebee's, and it was, what station was it? Is it Air One? Air One, yeah. And sure enough, at 10 o'clock on the dot, our song came on, and we were sitting in the parking lot, and everyone like closed the doors, shut the van off, turn the radio up
as loud as it would go, and we just geeked out for like 3.5 minutes. Like, that's us, dude.
Was it We Fall Apart?
It was We Fall Apart. Yeah. We've been on for a few years. We've been on like local radio stations and things like that, but to hit the national level, you know, and have Octane pick up our music, and now like, you know, Strike Back is one of our singles that's out right now, and to hear that come across the radio and have people tweeting us, our families, you know, calling us like, "I just heard you guys on the radio," like it's surreal, dude. I don't know what else to say. It's awesome. I like it. I want it to continue for the next like 100 years.
It will, man. Have you seen that show? Oh, it's gonna go down. Yeah. Speaking of Strike Back, man, that song is killer. I can't tell you how many times I've just been mad and like turned on my car and just drove around and just beat my steering wheel.
It's definitely a drive. Yeah, I try not to listen to that song while I'm driving because it can get dangerous, man. Like doing like 95.
Doing 95, just hitting your steering wheel, just mad at the world.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think that those emotions, like, they're real emotions, and it's cool that like you're hitting your steering wheel instead of somebody else, you know? But yeah, I mean, that song was written out of, I mean, we were in a time towards the end of, it was the second to last song that was written for the record. We Fall Apart was actually the very last song.
Wow.
They're written one right after another. So we wrote that on Strike Back, and then We Fall Apart the next day. So, I mean, two completely different songs. You know? So I think we wrote Strike Back and got all the craziness out, and the next day we're just all like, oh, okay. Isn't it beautiful the way we fall apart?
Let's get emotional now that we've had a little rage coming.
Exactly, yeah.
So, speaking of We Fall Apart, what is the meaning behind that song? I mean, like, what inspired you to sit down and be like, man, like, it's just, I have to get this out.
Right.
Why? What happened?
It was a really really crazy time for me personally. I've been traveling a lot. I was in LA with my good friend Scott Stevens. He was the lead singer of a band called the Exies, and I was with him in his studio, and we sat down, and we'd written Strike Back the day before, and then I told him, I was like, dude, I've written so many songs for this album. I don't think I have any words left. I don't think I have a rhyme left to my name. I don't know what, I'm not sure what to write. And Scott's like, well, what song haven't you written yet? Like, what haven't you said? Like, what would you never do in a song? Do you have any rules that we could break, to do? And I was like, well, I said I do. I actually do. I have some challenges that I have personally as a songwriter, and one of them, I have many of them, but one of them is I never use the word beautiful in a song. Nothing against the word beautiful. It's beautiful, but I always, anytime I feel like I want to say the word beautiful, I challenge myself to use a different word or a different term to express that same kind of, evoke that same kind of emotion. It's just a good challenge to kind of try and keep things a little original and fresh. So I told him, I was like, I never use the word beautiful. He's like, I think you should. And I said, and we don't have a song with an orchestra. And he's like, I think we should. And I said, we don't have like a really acoustic driven song with no drums. He's like, I think we should. And so I just remember thinking, I was like, all right, well, I said, what if it's just like this back and forth thing, like the world's on fire, but we're all smiling. Yeah. Even though it's all our fault. Yeah. And I had just been studying about the life of Solomon, King Solomon. Like, he was an incredible dude who started out his life great and then destroyed it. And then at the end wrote this letter called Ecclesiastes. It was just kind of like looking back at his life and saying, hey, here's what I've learned. And in that, he said, he's like, enjoy your family, enjoy your life. And we're all a big, broken, crazy mess, but our lives aren't meaningless. They're not worthless. We've been given a purpose by the one who created us. And so that's kind of where that song came from. And it was just really fun to write, like coming up with all those kind of little word plays and things in there. And it does say it's magical and tragic, all the ways we break our hearts. We've had a lot of people tweeting like it's magical and tragical. Like, tragical's not a word, but they've grabbed it and they're using it. So kudos to them if they like the word tragical.
So, what's each your personal favorite song on the album? I'll start with
Oh my goodness, that's tough. I love Bullets. Take the Bullets Away. Yeah,
that's a good guy.
Yeah. Love that song. That's just so brutal, really heavy, really emotional. The duet between Justin and Lacey is it's wrenching, man. It does something inside of you, and I really like the guitar lines in that song too.
Yeah, man, I agree. Like when I drive and listen to that song, man, it makes you feel something, especially when that chorus hits, because it's so emotional. You can feel that you were feeling something.
Oh man,
it really just depends, though. I mean, all the songs, I love all the songs. I'm emotionally attached to all of them, but like, there's just different moods, So if you're feeling a certain way, you listen to that song, it grips you differently.
Yeah. I've been really loving Zombie, but Take the Bullets Away, I think I'm with you, because it's so emotive, man. It's just, I remember everything that I was feeling when I wrote that song. I remember the first verse and the chorus I wrote on the way to a songwriting session. I was driving and I had my iPad open. I'm like, I've got my finger on the trigger and one bullet in the gun, spinning the revolver, thinking this could be the one. I'm like trying to which I don't recommend to do, write songs and drive through Nashville.
He was the bullet on the road.
That's how it was, that's right. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm sorry. But I think right now my current favorite is Take the Bullets Away. Yeah. I also love Strike Back, but
I hate that you're going to make me answer third because I'm just going to sound like I'm unoriginal now. No, but that really is, that's my favorite song. I mean, I know it's been a lot of our favorite songs. What I love about it, beyond what they're saying as well, is that I could still listen to that song right now and still love it. Where because when you record an album, you've heard the songs a million times, you played them, you've listened to them, you've listened to mixes, and all this stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, so you can't hear the songs the same anymore. But I still hear that song, and it still hits me, just unlike the others.
Well, it's such an original concept. Like it's not something that you really hear in modern rock nowadays. Like it's been a while since I've heard a play between a man and a woman doing especially a song like that. That's just so killer.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. I'm glad you like it.
Bring to Life is probably my favorite, mostly because it's a lot of fun to play live. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to go with Bring to Life as well. For me, just every time we play it live and when we're recording it, just everything about that song, really, I really delved into that song. So that's my pick.
So now again, Taking the Bullets Away. What was going on? Why did you write that song?
My sister-in-law, who I love, her name's Janine. Her husband had left her and her kids did some horrible things, and she spent the next year just like horror story after horror story after horror story, and her life was ripped apart by men and everybody that she trusted and that she thought she could trust and love. And we were sitting in a restaurant with her. We got together, my wife and I, with her, and she was just in tears. And she's like, I don't think I can trust men. I don't think I can trust God, who I've always trusted. I don't think I can trust anybody that I love. I'm just in shambles. There's nothing left in my life. She's like, I feel like, you know, even if I reached out to God or whoever, like, I don't know if I could trust anybody anymore. And so we were there with her, and we, you know, we spent some time encouraging her, and luckily her life has turned around and good things are happening with her. So, but in that moment, and so it was just like 2 days after that, I was going to a writing session with some good friends of mine, and Mark Holman and Rob Hawkins. And like I said, on the way there, her voice was just going through my head, and I was like, I just saw a person like that in that kind of a state. Yeah. Those are the kind of people that would play Russian roulette, that would just spin a gun and be like, I don't care, you know, whether I live or die. And so that just really, I just had a lot of emotions. I loved her, I felt for her, and wanted to write a song for her to encourage her and help her. And then obviously in the bridge, the question is answered like, am I worthless? Am I helpless? You know, am I too far gone for a remedy? And the bridge says, you're so disarming, there's nothing left to fear. You know, that she felt like she could trust God again, and she could trust her family and friends again. And so I wrote it for her, and she's since written and in tears told me how much she loves the song.
So speaking of that, like, it's crazy because whenever I first listened to that song, I wouldn't have really thought of it as actual gun and actual bullets. I would have thought them as like metaphorical bullets, like things like the men doing this over and over again. Those could be the bullets.
Yes,
they keep hitting, like, take that away.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's exactly right. I try to write my lyrics in a way that they're multi-level. You know, that there's the surface level that, like, oh, this is a really killer song, and I want people to be able to get it in a second and be like, okay, I can walk away with something. But for those who want to go a little deeper and really look into the lyrics and see what it's about, there's something there for them too. I'm that kind of person. Like, if I don't know what the lyrics are about, like, I'll listen to a song 1,000 times and like Google it. You do that too? That makes me too. Yeah, it's like, I got to know what this song's about, man. Deftones Knife Party, right, was one of them. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, he just collects knives and wrote a song about having everybody bring your knives over. I was like, all right, you know. But I mean, songs like that, I just got to know what they're about, and take the bullets away. I'm glad you get that, because I think that there's definitely a lot of spiritual undertones in that people can apply to their life in all sorts of different ways. You know.
Yeah. Again, you know, take away the metaphorical bullets.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
So, what's something that you just have to have on the road? Something that's just always on your bus or always in your pocket? Like
something that I have to have on the road. For me, I would normally say books, but I've been a really bad book reader this last tour, or on this tour. So I'm going to say my iPad, because I have, I got rid of my smartphone and I got this simple phone. To just kind of be completely antisocial and unplug from society as much as I could. But every now and then I still get that little social bug, and my iPad's there so I can check out Facebook and Twitter and stuff. So iPad's really important for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say fresh socks and underwear, man. You can't live without that. If you don't have that, man, you're done. It's over.
Fresh socks and underwear, iPads.
All right.
Earbuds, man. I have an iPhone, and I actually left those home and had to have my wife send them out to me, because there's just not a happy existence on the road without earbuds.
Without some good headphones, man. Yeah.
I'd have to second the headphones thing. You travel around with 6 guys or 5 other guys in a van. You need that time when you can just kind of zone out and go somewhere else. So they're a lifesaver for these other guys. I'm actually gonna have to say my Bible, because I got wrecked. About 2 weeks I left it somewhere and I found it. But I was pretty much wrecked for that 2 weeks, and I'm glad I found it. So for me, that's what I need.
Awesome. So, what was the I guess you call it the big wow moment, like whenever you guys started? Like, what was the moment that you're like, man, we're doing this, like this is happening?
It happens every day.
It happens every day.
There's been so many of them, man. Like, you know, hanging out with Amy Lee from Evanescence was one. Hanging out with Mark Tremonti from Creed was one. Hanging out with Skillet and being on tour with SHINEDOWN is another. It's like, it hasn't been one moment. It's been like a ton of those kind of moments. Like, man, is this, like, we're pinching ourselves. You know, we were in Houston, we got like this backstage pass into NASA, and we got to drive a lunar rover, like the newest one. Like, Dave blew the tire out on it and broke it. But I mean, it's been a bunch of things like that, man. And then of course the fans, like I think that's my answer. The fans, like when we show up and we play a show now, looking out and seeing so many people singing our songs, like I just melt like a candle in Arizona, dude. Like it's like, oh, they love me. So that's been really cool watching people sing our songs.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be an insane feeling. I mean, to go from nobody really knowing much, and then We Fall Apart hit the radio, and now it's just over with. Like, people know who We As Human are.
Yep.
And people should know who We As Human are.
That's right. That's right. If they don't, you got to help us tell them.
We'll help you out.
All right.
So, what are your plans for next year? Do you have anything lined up?
We do, yeah. Well, from this tour, we go on tour with, it was just announced, with Filter. We're going out on tour with Filter, and Red's going to be on that tour, and a band called Otherwise. And then as soon as that one's over, we have 2 more tours, one in November, and then we have another one that is almost confirmed. So we're not sure, so I can't really talk about it much, but it's in January, February. So yes, I mean, we're already planning out next year, but it's kind of on the DL. So they'll just have to like hit up our Facebook page, our Twitters, and the band, you know, what's that, Bands in Town app?
Bands in Town
Yeah,
app.
we keep that updated. But we'll try to announce them as soon as we can. But yes, awesome. We are going to spend a lot of time on the road. We have no plans of stopping touring anytime soon. Yeah.
So how did the band get together? Like, how did you guys start? How did you guys all meet?
Sure. Well, I started playing music when I was 8. My dad showed me G, C, D, and E minor on the guitar, and I was hooked. And I just played guitar day and night. My mom would like kick me out of the house and be like, "Go outside! Like, it's horrible," you know, because I just wasn't good. And so I was just writing songs and loving it. And as I got older, me and Adam grew up together here. Adam plays drums, and we played in like church bands and things together. And we just, you know, we had that in common, and so we started just jamming and growing up, and then we really got serious in probably about 5 or 6 years ago when we met Dave, and we're like, okay, I think this is what we want to do for a living. So Adam and I had been jamming with a couple other guys, and so we put it out there. We needed a bass player, and Dave came in from Spokane, found him on MySpace. You remember MySpace?
Good old MySpace.
Before it completely sucked. So found him on MySpace, and then with the guitar player that we had at the time, we started doing some, just kind of going out and playing, doing some small tours. You know, we'd go and play a bar, and then we'd play a church, and we'd play a club, and it was just like we were broke, but we were just having fun, you know, just out there, just doing our thing. And then what, 3 years ago now? 4 years ago? Jeez. We opened up, we were like, I was playing guitar and singing at the time, and I was like, you know what, I just want to be a singer. I don't want to play guitar anymore because I want 2 really great guitar players. So we opened up online auditions, and a friend, Justin, was in Seattle, and a friend told him about us, and he's like, they're looking for a guitar player. Justin sent us a video. I thought it was a joke. I watched this guy play. I'm like, this guy doesn't want to be in my band. He's like, he shreds like Steve Vai, man. I'm like, it was insane. And so I called him up, and yeah, we hit it off. We talked for a couple hours, and I'm like, this is what we want to do. We're serious. We want to make something of this. We didn't have anything going at the time. I mean, we were doing like little tours, but he was down, and then Jake sent, at the same time, Jake sent over a recording of him playing. And we talked on the phone. He sent over a recording of our song "I Stand," and Adam and I sat down and listened to it, and we're like halfway through the song. We're like, when is this guy gonna start playing? You know, because we don't. And then we realized, we're like, oh my God, this is him playing the whole time. Like, it sounded like the recording. Like, it was perfect. And
Little did he know I didn't play.
Yeah. Or you're just really good with Pro Tools.
No, but and we were completely blown away. Like he's got like a blues rock style that's this just super emotive, super from his core and his heart, and he plays with so much passion. So that was really appealing to us.
Yeah.
And then these guys got together. We're like, I hope they don't hate each other, because we asked them both to be in our band, and then all of a sudden, you know, long story short, we hooked up with Skillet and got a record deal, and now we're on the Carnival of Madness. But that's kind of how we got together. It was just kind of piecemealed for years, and then really solidified with this lineup into the We As Human we are today.
Man, that's awesome. So how's it been on this huge festival that you're on now? I mean, it's a big tour.
It is, yeah it is, man. Carnival of Madness Tour. When SHINEDOWN, these guys asked us to be on this tour, we were like, again, it was one of those moments you're like, is this real life?
Yeah, no, I had friends back home that were like, you're not touring with SHINEDOWN. No, dude, sorry,
right.
man. Like, no, dude, seriously, I am. No, you're not.
So did they actually ask you guys to play? Like SHINEDOWN actually got in touch with you guys?
They did, yeah. SHINEDOWN, yeah. They got in touch with us through our management and through our label and everything. But yeah, I mean, this is the Carnival of Madness is their tour, and they get to decide who goes with them. I mean, and they could have any bands in the world come out, and they asked us. So I mean, that's a huge honor. And I've known Eric from SHINEDOWN for a while. We wrote some songs together, and hadn't known the rest of the guys, but just through some mutual relationships and things that we have, and you know, they asked us to be on this tour with them, and it's been amazing. I think we're about 3 weeks or a month in, and this has been the coolest tour we've ever been on. The Carnival of Madness tour has been awesome. And having, you know, Seven Dust was on the first few dates, which I love Seven Dust.
Those guys are killed.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Their live show,
like the end of the world.
Is their live show so powerful, it's ridiculous.
Yep. And then Papa Roach and of course Skillet, like my favorite band in the world in this moment. So it's been a really cool tour. We're having a great time on it too.
That's great, man. So how did the song? How did you get John to do Zombie?
I was like, hey John, you better sing on my record or else. It went something like that. So we were discovered by John Cooper from Skillet.
Really?
We were, yeah. About 2.5 years ago, something like that. Our road manager at the time was a runner for Skillet at one show, and he handed him our CD. And John, as a joke, to see how much it sucked, like put it in the CD player on the bus so he could have a good laugh before bed. And he,
a true story.
Yeah, it is. And it turned out he absolutely loved it. And so he got a hold of his manager in Nashville, and he's like, dude, there's this band, We As Human. I really want you to work with them. You should develop them. And his manager, Zach Kelm, was like, well, I'll do that if you do it with me. And so they got a hold of us, and they're like, dude, you guys are like John Cooper's favorite band. And I was like, am I getting prank phone called right now? Is this happening? So all that to say, we work really closely with Skillet. We've done a ton of touring with them. John is one of my best friends in the whole world now. And so when we were doing our album, he was an executive producer on it, and he came into the studio, and I really wanted him to sing on one. So I just asked him, I was like, dude, I think you'd be great on our record. And he's like, all right, well, you pick the song and let me know what you want me to do. And we got together and we decided Zombie was like the song, you know. So
Zombie was the one. Like,
oh, dude,
any other choices you would have thought of?
No. I mean, it just felt right. So we got him on Zombie, and we're super honored to have him on our record.
All right, guys. So I guess it's time to wrap up.
All right.
I mean, is there anything you guys want to say to your fans?
Yeah, thank you. We're here because of you, for real. So a huge shout out to all the humanoids out there that are supporting us and spreading the word about our album. It's real rock and roll, and we love that rock and roll is still alive through you. So we'll keep making it if they keep listening.
Oh, they'll keep listening.
All right,
we'll
good.
make sure of it.
Awesome.
Well, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave.
Yeah.